future quarterback.
No way.
We're already heading in the wrong direction.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Shooting the Shit. We have video this week because Joseph was nice enough to let me borrow a StreamYard account. Shout out to StreamYard, even though they're not sponsoring me.
Maybe they will.
Yeah,
maybe they will. Maybe they will now that you're using them.
Yeah, no free ads though. I'm gonna bleep all that out. Yeah, welcome back to Shooting the Shit. This is Joseph Bonanno. He's been on before, but you haven't seen his face on my podcast at least. You've probably seen him on Rock Solid Sports, WTK, yada yada yada. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, but yeah. So welcome back, Joseph. It's been a minute. How you been?
Pretty good. Senior year of college, just try to get through.
Felt that.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. I've had major senioritis this year, this semester. It's not been great.
Yeah, it hits like a train because when I started my senior year, I was like, I don't think it's gonna hit me, and then I got like halfway through my fall semester, and I was like, yeah, this is not it. This is not it. I had to take 19 hours my last semester, so that sucked.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I think I'm only taking 12 hours this year or this semester.
It's not bad.
13 next semester, but even those 12 hours, I'm just like, dude, I don't want to do this.
So is that like 4 classes?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
And one of them's an online only class.
There you go. I mean, my biggest thing was I just took a bunch of even though I had 19 hours, I just took like a bunch of 1 hour online courses, and it was so easy. Half of them I could do semester classes, so I just did 2 semester classes, and that counted as 2 credit hours. And then I got away with doing an online public health class, and it was 3 hours. It was so weird because it was so easy. It was probably the easiest class.
I think I took an online public health class last year. Yeah.
You probably took the same one, honestly.
Because a buddy of mine was like, hey, do you need another class? And I was like, actually, yeah. And he goes, well, I'm taking this public health class. It's online only. You should take it. I was like, cool. And then we ended up being partners for all the projects and stuff. So,
that is exactly what happened, because shout out to Mabel. I haven't had her on since we've had video, but she's been on before. When we worked at WTK together, she needed a class, and I was taking that public health class, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty easy. And then she sprung all these other discussion posts that I didn't know about on us, and I was like, ooh, sorry, Mabel. But we ended up doing the final project together, and we got 100, and she was like, it's so creative. And I was like, I just filmed a fake.
What was it, like a PSA?
Yeah.
That's the class we took. Yeah.
I forget what our PSA was about. I think it was it might have been not sleeping as much, or signs of depression. It was something like that. And I just filmed Mabel being lazy around my apartment, and then I submitted it, and I was like, this looks like dog shit. And
ours was on overdose on medication, like prescription drugs, and just overdosing on that. So and overprescribing and stuff. So
honestly, that was the one project I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. The rest of the class, I was like, this sucks. Also, I apologize to the audio listeners if you keep hearing cars driving by. My room window, highway right there, or not highway, but expressway.
You're still in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta.
Yeah, well, it's what, 5:00 your time?
5:15. Yeah,
5:15. Oh, so same time as me. So yeah, I mean, you're rush hour traffic right now in Atlanta. You're gonna hear that.
There's surprisingly no traffic right outside my window, but because it's kind of I mean, you've been to Atlanta. It's where that bridge is going to Truist. It's one of those streets.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's not too bad, but it's that street and then the highway. So it's it's a little loud. It's only annoying on the weekend because people will stop at that stoplight that's right near my window, and then they'll be like, oh, I'm the baddest motherfucker in Atlanta, and then they'll rev their engine and just take off, and I'm like, dude, it's 3 a.m. I'm dead asleep, and it sounds like a gunshot goes off.
Yeah.
It's so bad. But I can't complain. I love Atlanta. It's cool. Even though I was in Nashville for Halloween weekend, if you'll call it. And I was like, man, I want to fucking move here. Like
What, to Nashville?
I love Nashville. Every time I go, I forget how awesome it is, and then when I leave, I'm like, I want to stay here.
Atlanta's not bad. I mean, you go out. Do you go out?
Yeah,
You go out
no,
in the
I go
city?
out. It's the I don't how do I explain this? I
It's
guess
different than Nashville. It's a lot different than Nashville. I know what you mean.
yeah, Nashville. I feel like I don't know. It's also hard because it's me and my roommate, and then like two other friends we have here. So
Yeah,
Nashville, I think would be the same thing. I just don't realize it. But like his girlfriend
it's a
lives there.
little. It's a little smaller of a city, so
Yeah, no, it's fair. I mean, his girlfriend lives there, and like a few other people I'm friends with. But like, yeah, it's just I don't know. It's hard. I think Atlanta's gonna get better. We have two buddies moving here in December, so
that's cool. Are you plan on staying in Atlanta for a while?
we'll see. Because right now, I accidentally aired some stuff out on the last podcast. I probably shouldn't have. I censored it pretty well, but like I listening to it, I was still like, oh, that's a little cutting it close. But anyways, long story short, some employment issues here. So it's not really tying me to Atlanta anymore. Like this job I just did in Detroit, which I'll talk about that in a minute. But I was in Detroit for a week or Lansing. I landed in Detroit and then I drove to Lansing. That I can do that anywhere because they pay for my flight and my hotel, so I can be wherever I want.
Oh, that's cool.
The only reason I say Nashville is because the guy that I work for is based out of Nashville.
Okay.
It's actually Mabel's dad, but yeah. So it's just a lot of stuff's going on. I don't know if I'll end up staying in Atlanta or not. For now, I think I am. I mean, I'm here until August. I have to be because I'm in a lease, but after that, I'm not sure. And it just depends on what my roommate wants to do. And because I mean, I want to still live with him. He's cool. But if we want to do separate things, then maybe I move to Nashville or something. I don't know. It's
Your family still in Arkansas?
no. So my mom is in California. My dad is in Memphis.
He
I
went
think
back to Memphis?
he was in Memphis for a bit. I think he's in California now.
And your siblings go to UT, right?
My
Yeah.
brother's a sophomore. My sister's a freshman.
Y'all are just all over the place.
I know.
California, Memphis, Arkansas, Atlanta,
My brother
Knoxville.
my brother works for Hypel.
Oh yeah, that's right. He is he just an assistant in the or a manager or what?
He's like a student recruiting guy.
Okay.
He doesn't really give me the specifics, and he probably doesn't want me to say the specifics. So
He probably can't. He probably can't.
Oh, he can. He signed an
Oh,
NDA for
yeah.
sure.
They're like, listen, you do not say who we're going after.
No,
All.
exactly. He'll like text me stuff that's like, well, he won't text me anything crucial, obviously, even though I'm family, but he still texts me like, yeah, I can't talk about this. I'm like, oh, okay, my bad. But yeah, he's loving it. I've signed a few NDAs in my time, so I know how that goes. But yeah, other than that, I mean, there's not really shit tying me here, so we'll see. If stuff picks up again, then I might stay here. It's just the TV industry is so unpredictable, and it drives me
Should have
crazy.
stayed in radio. It's even worse.
I was about to say. But I'm kind of getting to the point where I might just start bartending. I'm just kind of over it. It's more that like I want to just have my career and not have to have anything else, but like I'm 24. I'd rather not be stressing about money all the time. And like
Yeah, I feel that.
I'm not. I have it planned out, but that planning out process is stressful because if one thing goes wrong, I'm behind a month.
Yeah, your whole plan is
And then it's just fucked.
Yeah.
And so I'd
No,
rather
I
at
know what
least
that feels like.
yeah, I'd rather at least make an effort to chipping towards something else where instead of I'm putting all my eggs in one basket, but at least I'm like financially in different baskets. Because I can still do this. I can still work TV stuff if I bartend. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, so like I said, I graduate in the spring, so in May. So right now I'm working part-time as a board op for Cumulus Media in Knoxville, which is radio, so WNML, the sports animal. So I'm like a part-time board op. So I've
I
been
saw that.
running. Yeah,
Congrats on that, by the
yeah,
way.
appreciate it. I've been running their like high school football boards every Friday, and their game day all day for their pregame coverage for Tennessee football on
Mhm.
Saturdays. And then I also do the NFL show that they run on Sundays. And I just actually filled in for one of their daily shows last week. And I've actually gotten like literally as soon as I filled in for that one daily show, over the next couple of days, like these past couple of days, I've gotten like 4 or 5 texts from different show hosts and producers being like, "Hey, can you come fill in for me this day, this day, this day?" And I'm like, dude, I still have class, but like honestly, like I would be fine skipping class to go do that. One, I get paid for it, and two, continue, get the experience of doing the daily shows. And I'm like, well, the more the talent knows me, the more the producers know me. Maybe I'll get on air once or twice, and then from there, hopefully, a snowball effect. But what I really want to do is when I graduate. So my girlfriend is a year behind me. She's in nursing school, so she still has another year. So hopefully, I would just, if I don't find a job immediately, hopefully I just stay with Cumulus in Knoxville. Maybe get maybe another part-time job just to help bring in some cash flow. Just for a year, and then whenever she graduates, I know she wants to go back to Nashville and work at a hospital in Murfreesboro, Nashville area. So hopefully, move there and get a job with Jackson Williams, who was supposed to come on today, but his job,
He's too cool for us.
Yeah, his job, which hopefully I become his
superior.
Well, yeah, but what's the word?
Co-host?
No. Your employees that you work with.
Coworker.
That's the word I could not think of.
That's embarrassing.
Shut up. It's been a long day. But anyways, I hope to be his coworker over there at 104.5 Cumulus in Nashville. So that's kind of what I'm banking on. And if neither of those work, then Cracker Barrel. Here we go.
Hey, someone's got to flip those pancakes, man.
That's what I do. I literally flip the pancakes.
You're the pancake guy?
I do cook. Well, I'm a grill cook, and part of that is cooking pancakes.
See, I did that.
And bacon and sausage and a million other things. Eggs. Oh my God, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't even be able to guess how many eggs we go through in a single day.
I believe it. It's probably like 12 cartons, maybe more.
Dude, we get boxes. Like
the 64 box ones that are like,
yeah, and they come with like 12 pallets of 24 eggs. So it's 12 times 24, whatever the hell number that is. Let's do some simple math. Come on, guys. We have calculators.
12 times 24 cocoa melon. It's
so 200. So 288 in a box. We probably go through on like a slow day 3 boxes. On a weekend, we probably go through like 6 or 7.
So for 3, it's 864.
On a day. This is
7,
daily.
It's 2,000 eggs.
And you got to do this. You got to do this 7 days a week. And then Sundays are obviously like the rush days. So you get like all the rush of like church and the weekend. Same with Saturdays, you get the weekend. Friday nights, you get the weekend. And crazy. So one of my jobs at Cracker Barrel, like before I became a grill cook, I was a backup cook. And they mass cook stuff. So like all the sides, like the mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, hash brown casserole, green beans, corn, any of the main sides, that's what the backup cook cooked. But we also did this thing called we blanched bacon. So, and because we go through so much bacon a day, like if you think we go through a lot of eggs, think the same for bacon. It's insane.
Oh, I believe it.
So like we have to blanch bacon, the backup cook does, so that it cooks quicker on the grill. Basically, you just put it in the oven for 15 minutes at like 350, and it basically pre-cooks it. So that way when you throw it on the grill, it only takes like a minute or 2 on the grill, and then you're done. And like I would do like 8 cases of bacon like a night, because that's how much you have to do to keep up stock, especially for the weekends. And I would come home smelling like bacon grease. And dude, there was one. So what you do is like you stack all these pans on top of each other after you get done cooking it, and you pour out the bacon grease into a smaller pan. And so then by the time you're done with like all 6, 8 cases or however many you do, you have this big pan of bacon grease. Dude, there was one day, actually there was one day I knocked it over and spilled it all over myself on the floor. And I'm gonna tell you, bacon grease does not clean up easily at all.
Oh, not at all.
And
I've spilled it before.
It was all over me, like all over my pants, my apron, my jacket. Like and I was like so annoyed, but I still had a couple hours of work to do. I was like, all right, let me just get through this bacon and then I'll see if I can go home. I literally did it again the same night. I knocked it over a second time and I just left. I told my boss, I was like, dude, I'm going home. I can't do this anymore. I was like, I smell like bacon grease. My pants are like soaked in bacon grease. When I got home, like, you know, when grease like solidifies, it gets like hard, or when it cools, it solidifies. Like
Yeah, it
my
looks like a
pants,
candle. Yeah.
yeah, my pants were like covered in like that solidified bacon grease. It was so gross. It was awful. I hated it.
That's so that's so nasty. That actually made me gag a little bit. My eyes are watering.
It's just bacon grease, but like, nah.
Nasty.
Honestly, Cracker Barrel's not that bad. It was a pretty fun place to work. Even though I said I wanted to quit every time I worked there, but
Working
what
in
you gonna do?
food sucks. I mean, at least you were a cook though,
Yeah.
so you didn't have to deal with people that much.
Oh, dude, no. If I was, dude, the amount of shit I yelled at the servers, there was no way they were gonna let me out in the dining room. Dude,
No, that's how it is.
I was a terrible person. Like, I would say some like horrible shit to these poor servers. And honestly, like, they deserved it because it's their fault. They're dumb as shit and they don't know what they're doing and they think they do. That's the thing. They don't know what they're doing, and when they mess up, they think they did it right and they won't accept the blame. And so then you just kind of got to knock them down a couple pegs, and that's what the cooks
That's
do.
the worst kind of worker. If when I would work, that was my biggest thing. I'm like, look, I'd like meet with most of the people I started with, like serving and whatever I was doing. Um, and I was like, look, let's be transparent. If you fuck up, say fuck up, move on. And I wasn't even the manager. I was like, this is just easy for all of us. Like
Yeah.
I've worked at jobs where it's not been like that, even like in construction, and it's not like that. And that's like the most important field to be communicated in, because if you don't, you like die and get a 2x4 to the head. But yeah, anyways, it was wild. No, like I'm not kidding. When I like 2 months into working that construction job, someone died on the job site.
Oh my god! Get a piece of rhubarb just shot through your chest.
I'm not going to say the company I worked for privacy reasons,
For legal reasons,
and that too. But the dude was coming out of the dig site, and he walked up, and a black cat that was like I don't know what this.
The digger.
If you're on
thing.
audio, it's the singular scooping thing. I don't know what it's called. Anyways, that swung like back of the head.
Yeah, done.
Down. No, he was alive. And then got run over by like a truck. Yeah. And the whole reason it happened is because he had AirPods in and didn't hear the thing hit him. And the guy driving had headphones in too and didn't hear it. So after that, they banned headphones on the whole job site.
Oh, that's horrible.
Oh, it was so bad. I remember
I was not expecting the second part to that. I was like,
it was terrible. I got in I came in one day and I'd probably been working there like 2 months, and I come in and they're all like, someone died. And I was like, oh, like heart attack, like natural causes. Because I worked with a lot of older people. I was like, oh, someone had a heart attack or something. And they're like, no. This guy got run the fuck over.
The craziest thing is when a customer dies when you're working at a restaurant and a customer dies like several times. I've been cooking. I've been like in the kitchen and like a server will run in and be like, yo, it was like a regular. It wasn't like some rando. It was like a regular. And like, dude, like Pat, you're laughing right now.
I'm sorry. I just if like my grandpa goes at the Cracker Barrel, that's just so depressing.
Dude, no, okay. I remember there was this one night. I don't remember the name, but I don't remember the lady's name, but she was like in like one of the corner tables, and one of the servers came in and went to the manager and was like, hey, I think she's asleep. Like she fell asleep. Like, what am I supposed to do? So the manager's like, okay, I'll go wake her up. And he walked out there and he shook her and went to wake her up. And she just kind of like, and like, he was like, go call 911. And then they came back. All the servers, of course, came back in the kitchen acting like it was their grandma that died. And they were like, oh, it's so traumatic, blah, blah, blah. Like, I get it. It's traumatic, but like, you didn't know that person. Like, shut up.
Yeah, I think it's more the shock of someone dying in front of you.
Yeah, yeah, but
brutal.
Dude, no, if you want to know the difference between servers and cooks, the servers were traumatized. The cooks were making jokes.
To be fair, I'd probably still make jokes in that situation. That's how some people heal.
That's where we were. I mean, I felt awful, but you can't help but laugh.
I think it's more like I was just laughing a minute ago. It's more it's the shock. It's just when you don't expect it, or especially me, when I'm uncomfortable, I don't expect something, I just start laughing, and it's really bad. I've been in several situations where I should not be laughing, and I am laughing like a maniac.
Like when a customer dies in Cracker Barrel and they run in and tell you, and you just laugh it off.
Jesus.
It's so fucked up.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because a lot of old people go to Cracker Barrel. So,
that's true.
If there's going to be a restaurant that has a high death toll, it's probably Cracker Barrel.
Dude.
That, what's another place? Charlie's.
There was one day I was driving to work. So I've worked at 2 Cracker Barrels. I worked at one in Murfreesboro and one here in Knoxville. One of the times I was working in Knoxville, I drove to work and I parked my car and I got out and I saw this dude with his passenger door open, and this dude was kind of over by the car, and he goes, "Hey man, can you come help me real quick?" And I was like, "I got to get to work." And he goes, "Hey man, this dude's passed out." I went, "What?" And I walked over, and this dude is sitting in the passenger side of his car. His feet are in the car, but his body is out of the car, and his eyes were rolled in the back of his head. I'm pretty sure this dude was on it some kind of overdose. And this other dude who was just walking by was just trying to put him in his car and walk off. So the dude didn't cops didn't come and arrest the dude. And I was like, he's going to die if we leave him. So I helped. So I didn't want to tell the dude that. So we picked him up. We shoved him. I felt it was the most uncomfortable thing I think I've ever done. We shoved him into his car while he was passed out, closed the door. The dude walked off. And I immediately ran inside and called 911.
Okay, I thought you were going to say you left. I'm like, Joseph, you were admitting to a felony. Right
no. See, the other dude wanted to leave, and I was like, okay, if I tell him that I'm going to call the cops, I don't want him to bug out. So I just helped him shove him back in his car, which I know that sounds so awful, but it was. And went in and called 911. Cops came, ambulance came. They took the dude off. Dude's car sat there for 2 weeks, and then eventually a tow truck came and got it. So I don't know if the dude died or not, but that's the time I shoved a overdose dude back into his passenger side seat.
You got to carry some Narcan.
Yeah, no, I don't. Actually, it'd probably be a good thing to have around a restaurant.
No, especially a restaurant, because I
feel
like
of drugs. A lot of drugs at a restaurant.
A lot of people OD either near a restaurant or in a restaurant because it's it's one of those places where it's open to the public, and I mean, if you're a drug addict, you can just go sit in there and order a coffee and be fine. Yeah. But yeah, it's fucked. Anyways, let's get off this morbid ass topic.
More dead people.
Woohoo! Let's get off that and go to cancer. No. So I don't know how to tell you guys this. No, I'm kidding.
Speaking of cancer.
I have it. No, so I was in Michigan the past week, like I said earlier. I was working with US Figure Skating, doing some streaming stuff, working with Peacock again. Shout out to Peacock. Oh, Peacock. I'm dumb. I didn't even talk about the sponsor of this episode.
Wow.
Oh no. I might have to cut this and put this at the front. I'll just leave it. It's fine. I have an ad that plays at the beginning anyways.
Reroll. You know what? Cut everything we just did.
Start over. We got to talk about the dead guys at Cracker Barrel again. Want to give a big shout out to Anchor for sponsoring this episode and every other episode. They're still sponsoring this podcast despite me taking an 8-month gap, but it's fine. Big shout out to them. If you want to start your own podcast, make some money off your voice, go to anchor.fm or download the Anchor app, get yourself started. If you reach a certain threshold, you can start making money on your podcast. Joseph used Anchor. I use Anchor. It's sick. It's so easy. And I mean, Joseph, you can vouch for it. It's probably the easiest platform to use.
Oh yeah. Just, upload whatever audio, video you want and write a title, description. You can put a cover photo on it, label it, episode, title, whatever. Season number. I mean, very versatile app. And you know, the fact that it uploads everything to like all the platforms for you, I mean, that's the easiest part. Because you know how annoying it'd be if I had to go to Spotify and upload something in Spotify, and then go to Apple and then upload something in Apple, and then so.
And it works better than, because I know in the past we've used WordPress sites. It works way better than WordPress.
Oh yeah,
way better. And that's not shitting on WordPress. It's a great company, but Anchor just, I don't know what they did, but they found a way to make it as seamless as using Spotify for music, but it's for podcasts. And just, it's so easy. The colors are cool. And it gives you like the stats every week. You can check how you're doing and what countries you're listening to, who listens the most in what state. Yeah. It's sick. So huge shout out to Anchor. Again, go to anchor.fm, get yourself started, or download the Anchor app. Thank you, Anchor. Anyways.
Thanks, Anchor.
Anyways, back to the back to the story I was telling. So I was in Lansing.
Are we not back on the cancer stuff?
No. Oh. I just decided not to. Okay. I'm not ready. Yeah, I worked this figure skating event. So basically I was in charge of running the stream. I was a tech producer. And it's like, it's not like Olympic athletes, but it's the kids who are going to be Olympic athletes potentially, not all of them, but some of them. Cause I'd see them warming up and they have like Team USA jackets. And then there's others with like other figure skating club jackets. And I was like, oh, this is like, I didn't realize it was like that close to the Olympics, I guess, in terms of skill level. But it was that. And then there was also novice. So it's like the younger kids that are just starting out in figure skating. But yeah, I sat in a ice rink for 4 days, 8 hours a day, froze my ass off. I actually kind of enjoy watching figure skating. I've learned to like it, and it's
when you're forced to stare at it for 8 hours a day for 4 straight days. Yeah, you might start to like it. Well, or really hate it.
Even before that, because when I worked the Olympics, an hour of my show every day was the Olympic ice show, which was the figure skating highlights. So we only did figure skating.
I don't think I've watched the Olympics, like just sat down and like I maybe seen like highlights from an event, but I don't think I've ever just sat down and watched the Olympics.
I mean, that's fair. I don't think I did.
Maybe when like basketball, when like I
have never watched an Olympic basketball event.
That's either that or baseball. When they had baseball, would have been the only ones I would have watched.
I tune in for skiing and snowboarding every year because I love that, and I ski and snowboard, so that's why I like it. But
like, who wants to watch someone swim or run?
I watched Phelps. I watched the Phelps.
That's different because that's like a legend. But like, if you tune in, you don't know a single person. Like, name a person who won a gold medal. A gold medal in the last Olympics.
Fuck. Oh no,
you worked it.
I know. There's someone's name in my head that I know, but I don't know how to pronounce it or like how it's spelled. So I'm not going to say it because I'll get it wrong. But it was the snowboard cross event because it was their first gold in like since the last or 2 Olympics ago. Because the last Olympics she was in first, and she hit a snag 4 feet in front of the finish line and fell, and didn't medal. And I felt so bad for her.
Damn.
And she got gold this Olympics.
But my point is the Olympics are poorly marketed, I think, to America.
I don't think it's poorly marketed. I think the problem this year is there was a bunch of protests, like tons. When
really?
every day
I watched the Olympics. I didn't even know that.
Well, the Olympics aren't going to cover it. They didn't talk about it, but I didn't even know about it because they kind of emailed us and were like, hey, there's going to be protesters, just a warning. And Phil, shout out to Phil because he's the one who hired me, or not hired me, got me hired at the Olympics. He was like, yeah, there was some last year, but I think that was a separate issue. So apparently it was something to do with Tibet, and like I think it's because they were ignoring something going on. They were like, how dare you hold the Olympics when this is happening, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. There's always going to be protests for the Olympics. Anyways, yeah, I went to work and there was like, I'm on the shuttle bus and I just look up and there's all these people like holding posters and like throwing stuff at the bus. There was only one person that did that and they got escorted off, but everyone else just had a poster and was peacefully protesting and like yelling. And I was really confused. I was like, what the hell? And then I would go to work and everyone's like, yeah, it's another year, another protest at the Olympics. And I was like, oh, this is like a normal
this
thing.
is normal. This is what we go through every year.
Dude,
and you're like,
working at NBC was like working for Google. It was
awful.
No, it was sick. Google, who says working for Google's awful?
I don't know. I don't know where you're going with that. I was just trying to guess.
I wouldn't bash NBC. I want to get hired for the next Olympics. Dummy. But I actually like NBC.
But in private.
Not even being like putting a face or anything. I actually liked working for them. And I had free coffee all day, free food. The cafeteria food was sick. They would bring food trucks every couple days. Like I had like fresh pizza. They brought like a burrito truck one day. Oh, so good. And I worked midnight to noon, so it was very helpful because when I was randomly hungry at 5 a.m., it was nice to be able to go get something.
Didn't you work like overnight?
Yeah, it's midnight to noon.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would go to sleep at 3 p.m., wake up at 10:30 p.m. Not fun.
Yeah. I would hate an overnight schedule. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it was brutal. But anyways,
mostly because I can't sleep in the day, but
yeah, I just it took like 2 or 3 days to get used to. They gave us, so our training days were like it was like a week, and it was 3 days of acclimating your body and then 2 days of actual training. Because the training doesn't take very long.
Yeah.
It's the getting your body used to the schedule that's the most important, because they don't want people sleeping through their alarms and whatever, which I get, because if you're so tired, you will not hear that alarm. Like it happened to me twice. I had to set like 5 alarms. But yeah, so they get your body used to it, and then once you're used to it, like by the end of it, it was like nothing. I was waking up like it was normal, and then I had to go back and work radio, and I had to switch like immediately because I'd work the next day when I got back, and that sucked. I had to stay up for like 24 hours.
Yeah.
So I would go back to sleep at a normal time.
This is why I'm not and will not ever be interested in TV.
Yeah, I've done the broadcast. I'm kind of over the broadcast stuff.
Yeah.
The commercial stuff is cool. Streaming is the future. The stuff I'm doing for streaming is definitely what I want to do. I mean, tech producing is super easy, and I like being a camera guy. Just shooting and you get breaks and catered food and everything. I mean, and you get paid, so it's nice. But anyways, back to Lansing. So that was my first time in Michigan since I was 12. I was in Detroit for the March Madness tournament when Memphis played Michigan State, and Denzel Valentine and Gary Harris dropped like nuclear bombs on Memphis, and I had to watch it courtside. So that was pretty brutal. But I also got to see Dellavedova play the day before that when he hit that half-court buzzer beater and almost beat Memphis. Anyways, I was back there for the first time in like, I don't even know how long that's been, but
12 years if you were 12 and you're 24 now.
Yeah, thank you.
Easy math.
Thank you for that.
Welcome to the math learning channel on Shooting the Shit.
Yeah, so I didn't realize how fucking boring Michigan is.
Well, it's just like
there's nothing to do.
There's some lakes, I think.
It's winter.
It's snow.
It wasn't snowing. It was snowing. It was not snowing.
It probably would have probably been better if it was snowing, to be honest.
Oh, 100%. I agree. It was not snowing, and it was 70 degrees in the middle of November. It made zero sense.
What'd you do? What'd you do when you weren't working?
Fuck all. I don't know.
Nothing.
I mean, I worked like 2 p.m. to like 10 p.m. every day, so I would just go home.
Sit in your hotel room and stare at a wall.
I would just watch TV and work on my laptop. I can just imagine you sitting in your hotel room, just staring out the window and be like, Memphis, why are you like this? You mean Michigan?
Or Michigan, wherever the hell you are.
Slight diss to Memphis there. I see how it is. No, I'm kidding.
Listen, I have no disses with Memphis. I've never been.
I'll just fuck with you. It's a cool city when you're not getting shot at. Anyways, I'm just kidding. That doesn't happen that often. Anyways, yeah, so I would wake up because I didn't work until 2 p.m. every day, and then I'd get home at like 10, so I would just eat food and go to sleep. But in the morning, I would just wake up, have a coffee, and then just kind of like, I would usually just walk to the Jimmy John's or the Dunkin' that was like right near the hotel.
Yeah.
But the thing that I noticed is there was fast food everywhere. There was nothing healthy I could eat, and it sucked. I'm not like the healthiest person in the world, but if you eat junk food every day, you feel like garbage.
Why don't you not go to a grocery store and like get something? Like
I was in a hotel room.
you could have gone to a grocery store and like they had a mini
I
fridge.
didn't have a car.
Oh, you could have Ubered.
Ubers were expensive. I didn't
It
want
was
to pay.
70 degrees. You could have walked.
Yeah, it's fair. Anyways, it was and I was at a Best Weston. Best Westons aren't great.
Better than nothing.
True. That is true. At least I wasn't sleeping on the road.
That's true.
But
and it was free, and that's what makes it even better.
But yeah, I did that. And then this is my other gripe. I wrote this on the plane in my notes because I was so pissed off on the plane. I was like, I have to talk about this on the podcast. So week's over. I'm pretty tired. I'm not super tired. I had to wake up at 5 to go to the airport. Since it was an hour away from the airport, I had to return the guy's car that I was riding with from the airport and then on the shoot days and everything. So I got there about an hour before my flight. I board at like 9:30 and I'm in the jetway waiting to get on the airplane. And I shit you not, it is the loudest family I've ever heard in my fucking life behind me. Dude. I don't get that pissed off at people in public because it's like, whatever, you can't control everything. But when you're obnoxiously loud and not conscious of anyone around you and how early it is, I get a little pissed off.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I'm sitting there and she has like 6 kids. They're all young. And it's just her. I'm like, all right, I have some sympathy, whatever. Single moms, maybe not, but in this situation, she's a single mom. And they're all like chatting and it's like so loud. And I'm right in front of them and it's like piercing my ears. And the kids are like running up and down the jetway. And I'm like, I'm gonna snap. So I put my headphones in, and then one of the kids like keeps running into me. like he doesn't know I'm there every time, even though it keeps happening. And I'm like, oh, you're good. And then by the third time I was like, haha, yeah, you better look out. I was like,
I'm gonna kick you out of this airport and in onto the tarmac.
Yeah, I'm gonna start looking like
you little shit.
I'm gonna look like Dicker the Kicker at the end of that. And yeah, so I get on the plane and I'm like, all right, whatever. They're not near me. Maybe they'll be quiet. I have my headphones in. I'm listening to a podcast. I'm like kind of just chilling. And then I hear this, like, when you have headphones in and you can hear someone talking, it's like a muffling in the background and it's pretty loud. And I'm like, oh, is it like the announcement on the airplane? That's how loud it was. And I pull it out and it's the woman going, ah, you're so funny, to like some dude next to her. And they're like, the worst part is it's loud woman, loud man. And they're just yelling through the whole airplane. And they're like, he's like, yeah, I'm the type of guy who's like, whatever. I'm like, oh my God, someone punched this dude in the face so he's just unconscious.
Shut up, douchebag. Like, no one cares. Stop trying to hit on this single mom. She's got 6 kids to deal with. She doesn't.
He wasn't even hitting on her. He was just being weird. And they were like vibing with each other. And then the stewardess and all them were like, when you have kids, they give them like the wings and like make it a whole thing on the flight. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. And then she kept being like, oh my God, fun flight. And they're like, woo. I was like, I want to kill myself. I want to kill myself right now. Someone fly this plane into the ocean and kill me.
My favorite thing about being on an airplane is just looking out. I love window seats and I just love staring out the window the entire time.
I can't do window seats because my knees lock up and I don't have any. I can't. It's easier to stretch in the aisle, so that's why I like the aisle. And if I have to pee, because I have a small bladder. But the window seat is sick. That's why I like when people have it open, so I can just kind of look out from the aisle.
Nah, but I literally So over the summer, we went. My girlfriend and her family and me went to a wedding in Virginia. So we flew, and on the flight home, I got to sit in the window seat. I didn't get to sit in the window seat on there. I was on I was in an aisle seat. I get to sit in the window seat on the way home, and literally the entire way, like I like downloaded some music on Spotify so I could like have something to listen to. And when I ran out of that, I was watching a movie. But literally, I just had this movie playing in my hand, and I was just staring out the window the entire time.
Damn. So you're like a dog on a plane.
I was a dog on a plane, pretty much.
Yeah, Will, what's up?
Bro, we're recording. Get the hell out.
Special guest appearance from my roommate. You look like you just woke up. What's up? Come say hello to the people. It's Joseph. I was saying say hi to the public.
Hey, everybody. Big fan of the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Random audience member. I'll be done in a minute. We're gonna go get dinner and some brews because we're romantic.
I'm jealous. I thought this was our date. Look, I even have a candlelight.
Your girlfriend kicks the door down. Who? You're on a date with who?
Okay, I don't have a candlelight. I thought I had a lighter somewhere.
I have an oil diffuser right here. It's the same thing.
Oh, it's the same thing. Same thing.
Dude, those I didn't appreciate that gift until my brother got it for me for Christmas one year. And I was like, I'm never gonna fucking use this. It is like a staple in my room now.
Dude, I've got to tell you that story about this stupid online only class that I.
Oh
that I
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so it's Geography 101 at the University of Tennessee, the online only version. And if you don't know what an online only class is, you don't go to class in person. All your assignments are online, and you basically never see anybody in the class or the professor at all, ever, unless you intentionally try, right? So we had an exam a few weeks ago, like late October, and all of our exams are on Fridays. So there's 4. So we actually have one tomorrow, and that kind of ties in the story. But anyways, so a few weeks ago, Friday, and you have from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. to take it, and then we had like an hour and 40 or an hour and something. Like, it was a long time, like an hour and 40 minutes to actually take the exam. In that 12-hour window. So a few weeks ago, this is the second exam. So we've already taken one. This is the second exam. And I get up, wake up. I don't have anything else to do on Friday. I have class at like 2:00. So I get up at like 9, 10, whatever. And then I'm like, all right. So I sit down to take it around 11 or so. Takes me 50 minutes. Get done around 11:50 or so. Submit it. Got an 84 on it, right? I'm going through and I'm looking at the questions, and I'm like, okay, a couple of these, like my notes said something different than the test did, and I think she put in the wrong answer. So I immediately emailed her, and I was like, hey, Dr. Beep. I won't burn her on here.
Dr. Beep.
Hey, Dr. Beep. Sorry for the sudden email, but just had a couple questions about the exam. Then I kind of listed out the numbers. I explained why I had a concern about it. And I even put like a timestamp of like their PowerPoint videos that we get every week, showing where the information I got was coming from and why I thought it was different than the actual exam. So I was like, I sent it. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. She'll respond whenever. So she responds in like 5 minutes, and she goes, thanks for your concerns, but just to let you know, majority of the ones you sent me were actually wrong. Thanks. And I was like, all right, my bad. And then we get an email. She sends an email to the whole class. So like in like Canvas, you teach professors can like send it to the whole class. So she sends an email to the whole class and said, stop with the harassing emails. I'm tired of getting all of these emails when you guys should be following the email policy clearly listed out in the syllabus. So therefore, do not send me any more emails. I will not respond. Thanks.
That's whack.
And so
I hate when teachers do that.
Oh yeah. So we had a group me, right? So it's an online only class. So someone at the very beginning of the year created a group me, like 80 kids in it. Of course I joined. So
yeah, how do you think you get anything done?
Yeah. So like apparently during the exam, like some kids were like, hey, this one's like super hard. Hey, does anyone know what number this is, number that is? Like,
Oh,
simple.
while they're taking it?
Yeah. So like while the exam period's going on, I didn't use it like at all. But like when I get done with the exam and I find out that like some of the questions I got wrong, I'm pretty sure were right. Like I go in the group and I'm like, hey, did you guys have a couple questions where the answer was not what the notes said it was? And people were like, yeah. And they were like, well, we emailed her and then she sent that email and we were like, what the fuck? Like, we're not harassing you. And the email policy was like, we have to wait 24 hours after we submit anything in order to email her. So she's not getting a bunch of emails at once, which is, I get it, but like, come on, we're college students. We're going to email you when we have a problem. That's how this works. And it's an online only class. It's not like we can talk to you every week easily. So, we're still going through. I didn't like ask for any answers because I'd already taken the exam at that point and I already submitted. I didn't give any answers. I think the worst I may have given was, hey, the question about this and this, I think she got wrong. So I may have given like a question topic, which is probably the worst I did. But like that's not cheating. That's me complaining about the test being wrong, right? Well, then people are like, "Oh, I want to report her because she said we were harassing. She's not answering it. She says she's not going to change any more answers. Like, this is BS. Like, whatever." And so, like, yeah, I'm part of that group that's like shit talking her because I'm pissed. I'm like, yeah, why she say she's not going to change our grades when she's the one that's wrong? Like that's annoying. So
So basically, she gave out notes, and the notes had the wrong answers.
Well, so she gave out these like PowerPoint lectures, and the stuff in the lectures was different. Some of the stuff in the lectures was different than the answers on the exam, is what it looked like. But anyways, so in this group me, like we're like shit talking her. Like someone's like, "Hey, we should report her." I went and found I was the one that went and found the email of the department head and said, "Hey, if you want to report her, here's the department head email. You can just email him and report her." Blah blah blah, whatever. Well, get to like fast forward to like 2:30, like that day. So a couple hours, like way after I'd taken the exam, you still have people asking for answers and sending answers and individual questions.
You have a ghost.
What the fuck? So then this one chick just goes, okay. Or what I said was like when someone asked for like answers, I was like, oh yeah, you can't see your exam after you take it. You only get 5 minutes to see it, and then it goes away. And they're like, oh no, it doesn't. And then this chick records all of the answers, like records her screen of all the answers because it shows you the correct answers and sends it in the group me. And then all of a sudden, one by one, everyone just starts leaving. And some dude goes, "Oh, why is everybody leaving?" I was like, probably because some chick just sent the entire exam in here, and they don't want to get in trouble. And he's like, "Should I leave?" And I went, "Yeah, probably." And then I dipped, and then he dipped, or I guess he dipped. I hope he dipped.
So then you had to, because I assume this is leading up to you getting in trouble.
Yeah. So like a week
So
goes
someone
by.
had to have leaked all of that.
Yeah. So like the weekend, so that's on a Friday. So the weekend goes by, and on Monday, I'm like, okay, I'm still annoyed. My grade isn't changed when I'm clearly right. Let me email her again. So I emailed her. I apologize for breaking the email policy, and I'm like, listen, I just want an explanation of why I'm wrong or why you're right. Just I want an explanation. That's it. I don't care if you change it. I just want an explanation. She goes, well, I've been advised by my superiors to do this either in person or on Zoom. Can you come to my office hours? I was like, yeah. When are they? We set it up. So after I like confirm, like, yeah, we're gonna do the office hours on this day at this time, she sends me another email that says, okay, see you then. By the way, one of your colleagues reported me. Thanks, Dr. Whatever. And I was sitting here like, why are you
Oh,
telling
one
me
of
this?
your colleagues reported you.
Yeah, she's saying one of the other students in the class reported her.
Reported you. Oh, reported
Reported
her.
her.
Oh, I see
And
what
she
you're
was
saying.
yeah. And so I was sitting here like, oh, how is that any of my business that you got reported? Like, that's not my problem. Like, I didn't do it. Like, even though I planted the idea in some people's heads in the group me, I didn't actually go through with it because we set up a meeting. Why do I need to report you if we set up a meeting, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm like, whatever. I just ignored it, didn't respond back. We go into the meeting. She's actually really nice. She actually turned out to be really nice, really helpful, explained where I was wrong, and then showed like she understood where she was wrong and that she messed up on a couple of them. So I was right on a couple of them. And so like at the very end, she's like right when I'm trying to get away and be like, okay, cool. She goes, yeah, I can't believe someone in your class reported me. It's like the first time I've ever been reported before. And I'm sitting here like, ha 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 ha. This is not my business. I don't want to talk about this. And she was like, yeah, I just wish you guys would come and talk to me like this because then, we could work it out. I don't want to be the bad guy. I don't want you guys to hate me. I was like, okay, lady, like, can we stop talking about this? And then like eventually I got her off the topic and she was like, you know what? Because you've been so cool and because you apologized for breaking the email policy and because you came and you sat through this office hours and you helped explain anything before the next exam, let's set up another meeting and I'll give you some hints and some tips on tricky questions for the next exam. And I was sitting there, I was like cool, I'm fine with that. Like I'll do that. I don't care if you're socially awkward. That helps me get A. I'll come in and talk about the exam. So a few days later go by. And then all of a sudden, I get this other email from her, and it's just directly to me. It's not from the class. It's not to the class. It's just directly to me. And it's like, you may or may not have broken the student code of conduct by being a member in an online platform called GroupMe, that a Geography 101 exam was being discussed. I'm emailing you to let you know that I'm filing a report with the Student Conduct and Community Standards Committee, so they can do an investigation and try and find out what happened. Thanks, blah blah blah. So I'm sitting here freaking out. I'm like, I know someone sent the answers, so that means someone must have sent her the screenshots. And I didn't do anything, but I was talking mad shit. And so my name's all over that group mate because I was like blowing it up that day with the exam. So I'm like, I know my name's going to be in a group me, but I'm like, I didn't do anything. So I look up the student conduct, and part of the student conduct is when your professor or whoever reported you sends you the email that you've been or that you're going to be reported. You have like a window where you're allowed to set up a meeting with the professor to discuss it before they take it further. Well, so I was like, okay, cool. So
Almost like so you can avoid being like
yeah, so you can avoid
right?
going to the committee that oversees all the student conduct. So like I send her an email. I'm like, hey, if there's a misunderstanding, like I apologize for it, but can we set up this meeting to talk so we can work through this? And we set up the meeting, or we don't set up the meeting. She ignores me completely. She doesn't answer my email, and I triple checked, 4 times checked, 5 times checked that I sent it to the right email, and I did, and I know I did. And so I emailed her again, ignored it, and I'm sitting here like, what the fuck, dude? I'm like, how am I supposed like, what the hell? And then a few days later, I get this email from the student conduct board, and it's like, hey, just to let you know that you've been reported for violating the following: academic dishonesty as a part of the student conduct. Because of this, we're setting up an educational hearing on Friday, November 18th at 9 a.m. If you aren't present, we're going to take this as like basically, if you don't come, you're going to be fucked either way. So you might as well come. And I'm like, oh shit. And then they like read me all these, like it had like this list of rights. Like I'm allowed to have an advisor. I'm allowed to do this. I'm allowed to do that. And I'm sitting here like, holy
It's like a full court proceeding.
Yeah, I know. And I'm sitting here like, holy shit.
That's
So I'm freaking out. Like I'm like, dude, I didn't do anything. Why do I have to do this? I'm pissed. Ruined my day. I walked in. I was like, when I got the email, I walked in. I was like walking to my shift at WTK, and like I was like pissed. And I was like told our new office manager, Liz. Have you met Liz?
Mm-mm.
Okay, yeah. But she's cool. I was telling her about it, and she's like, yeah, that sucks. She's like, if you don't want to do anything today, you don't have to. And I was like, I'm not incapable of doing anything. I'm just pissed today. Like this is bullshit.
Yeah.
And so my hearing's tomorrow. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Oh, I thought you already had it. Oh,
no,
shit.
yeah, it's tomorrow.
Do you
Tomorrow
have
9
evidence
a.m.
and stuff? Like,
I mean,
you have a
no, because
case?
the group me got deleted. So all my evidence, anything that I could have proved, like time stamping when the answers were sent versus when I submitted my exam, all that is deleted and it's in their hands. So all I have is when I submitted my exam, the emails I had between my professor and like a text message to my girlfriend saying that I left the group me. That's about it. So and some dude that was in my class that I've had a couple classes with, that he was in that class, he DM'd me because we were talking about, because he got the letter too, which kind of like helped me out because I was thinking it was just me, but that kind of made me think, okay, she sent it. She reported multiple people. He went in yesterday and they told him that like he asked 2 questions. Like they read him all of his rights and what he's been accused of, and he asked them a question. And they read word for word him asking for answers out of the group me. And so, but like, you know what his punishment was? A 750 word reflection about why what he did was wrong, and he has to email and apologize to our professor and ask if she'll keep his grade
for the level they're going to for this investigation. Then they're like, all right, write me an essay, bitch. It's like if that happened, I feel like they're going to be like, all right, so you're withdrawn from the class, you're losing the credit, and like you have a W on your transcript.
Yeah, well,
that's what was going to happen.
He said, so here, okay, so he said, he said they've got screenshots of everything. They said because it's my first time, I have to write a 750 word reflection paper and email our professor and ask if there will be a grade change. And he was like, I asked 2 questions and she read them word for word from the screenshot. They also said, we know you're not one of the ringleaders, so you should be fine. What the fuck is a ringleader? Like
that's
like
so
what,
funny.
dude? And because I was one of the ones that was like messaging a lot the day of the exam, I'm sitting here freaking out, like, oh my god.
That's genuinely like.
So by the time this podcast comes out, I'm either gonna be fucked or I'm gonna be making an appeal.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can do.
Yeah.
I'm more shocked because, like, I'm gonna be honest, I cheated my ass off 90% of my college career, and I never got any of this.
Dude,
I got the degree now. No one can say anything. Fuck you, UT.
So, like because I've been so stressed about over
Right
this
there.
for the past. I've been so stressed about this for the past like couple weeks because like they emailed me that like 2.5 weeks ago. So I've just had to sit here and wait. But I've like been talking to a couple of like the professors like that I'm cool with that I have right now, asking them like what they think about it, and they're like, yeah, that sounds dumb. One of my professors was even like, hey, he goes, I know, especially in an online class, I know y'all probably cheat. I just don't think about it. And as long as you don't make it obvious, I'm not going to say anything. And I was like, well, not in this introductory geography class. So that's where I'm at right now.
I had a couple of teachers where they found out it was more. I think most of them were more pissed that people were talking shit. That's what they were more pissed about.
That's what I think it is.
Everyone was talking shit about our math teacher one year, and dude, he sucked. He was so bad. He was a master's student that was teaching. Oh my! I got my first ever. You know what? I'll join you in the academic dishonesty situation because I got one thing on my record my whole 4 years. I got a goddamn conduct review thing. It was like a conduct warning. And they were like, if you get one more, you're kicked out of the class because I was helping someone with a problem during class. No, we weren't taking a test. We were learning something. And I was like, oh, this is how you do it. I'm showing her how to do it. And he's like, hey, I'm the teacher. And I was like, hey, buddy, she doesn't fucking get it. I don't fucking get it because you suck at your job. I didn't say that, but I'm like, look, I'm just trying to help her. My bad. I'll help her after. And he's like, no, you won't help her at all. And he reported me. And shout out to Mac. He reported Mac too. We both got conduct things. And
that's bullshit.
Text each other and we are like, what the fuck is this? I did Google it. I had no clue what it was. I didn't know you could get a conduct thing in college.
Dude, no. So some of those introductory professors are on like power trips. Whereas you're like 500 level, you're like 400, 500 level professors are like, I don't care.
They don't give a shit. They realize you're over it.
I know.
Yeah, we've been going for an hour. I think I'm gonna wrap it here. I'm gonna have you back on soon so we can keep talking because we got a lot more shit we gotta talk about. But
we gotta get Jackson on here.
Yeah, and we can get Phil and Comas on here too. Should we just get like a giant podcast one day? Just like 5 of us.
Fuck it, make it 10.
Fuck
Get
it.
10
That
people.
would be chaos.
We'll
That
do a
would be
10-person round table.
We'd have one conversation. We'd have one topic, and it would last an hour. But this has been Shooting the Shit. Hope you enjoyed. Shout out to Anchor for sponsoring today.
Shout out Anchor.
Continuing to sponsor Shooting the Shit. Anchor.fm, all your podcast needs, and the Anchor app. Big thank you to Joseph for joining me. Go check out WTK, Rock Solid Sports. Joseph, you can plug whatever you want. Go for it. The floor is yours.
Yeah, catch me on Twitter at JM Bonanno. It's BONANNO 13.
I'll have all of this in the description of the
Yeah.
YouTube video, or if you're on Spotify or Apple Music, it'll be in the description as well.
My Instagram is _Bonanno_ with the O's as zeros. So follow me on Instagram. I don't post on Instagram, so you probably don't want to follow me.
Hey, get that follower count up.
Yeah, that's pretty much it because I don't care about anything else.
Fair. All right. Go check out Shooting the Shits podcast. It's STS highlights, all lowercase. I'm going to have some more highlights up. Haven't posted one in a while, but now that I have video, I can actually post one since no one wants to see a fucking audio highlight. You just listen to it.
We just posted our first or our second video highlight for our Cover 4 podcast for Rock Solid.
Yeah, go check that out. Seriously, I was listening to it before we started this. Cover 4 is sick, and I've always loved it. So big shout out to the guys at Rock Solid.
WTK Rock Solid Sports on YouTube and Facebook, at WUTK Sports on Twitter, WTK Rock Solid Sports on TikTok. That's where we're posting all of our highlights. But yeah, go to our YouTube page because we're trying to get that started. I think we only have like 30 subscribers right now.
Hell yeah, I'm one of them.
Me too.
Hell yeah. And shout out to Jack Foster from WTK. He just followed me on Instagram like 2 days ago.
That's my associate producer. He's my number 2.
Great guy.
Oh yeah.
I've done a show with him. He's cool. Yeah, that's been it. That's been Shooting the Shit. See y'all in a week or two. I don't know. Whenever I feel like fucking posting. All right. See you then. Peace.